What's up YouTube? I'm Charmaine Jamil and thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Today's video, I wanted to share 3 tips with you for when you're feeling lost in life. And I think that life, I know that life is not a one-size-fits-all. We're all individuals. We all have our own fingerprints. And so when we're talking about our emotions of feeling lost in life, it really doesn't look the same from you to the next person. And this particular feeling can come at any point in life and can come multiple times. A lot of times we see or may know or can think of a certain person where we look at them and we say, wow, they have it all together. They have it all figured out. But I bet you that if you went and spoke to them, they would have their own version of what it looks like for them to have that feeling of what that means to be lost in life. I'm a firm believer that when we have that particular feeling is that is life trying to push you and tell you it's just time to move to the next phase in your life, and you have to pay attention to the signs or whatever life is trying to show you so that you can move forward and grow within your feelings, grow within your emotions. So I really hope that these 3 tips that I share with you today give you some groundwork in really just organizing your feelings, organizing the thoughts that are flowing through your head that are really funneling into this emotion that you're carrying of feeling lost in life. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these 3 tips. So first, we really have to zoom in on what is this feeling that's making us feel like we can complete the sentence, I feel lost in life because. So my first tip is really to call it out. Call a spade a spade. That's what they say, right? So when I felt or had these feelings, and I've had these feelings, it just really depended on where I was in life. And I could complete this sentence, I feel lost in life for where I live. I really did not feel connected to the people that I had that were in my life at the time. I didn't feel connected to the job that I had. I just didn't feel connected to the community that I was living in. At the time, I was living in a smaller, more rural town, and the town was really more or less geared toward families. If you had a family and you had wanted to put your child in a really good school system, and it was a lot of community activities that you and your family could attend, that really is what this particular place of where I lived, that is who it was geared for. It wasn't so much geared toward anyone who was single and really wanted to share in activities with others who had interests outside of potentially like going out to restaurants or going to the gym, kind of like, just your average daily activities. And so I really began to feel lost in life when I lived there. And so what I really had to do in order to pull my thoughts together, I called it out. I filled in the blank. And so once I filled in the blank, I really had to think, what is it that I want? What is it that I want in life where I'm not having to repeat, I feel lost when, and insert that. So after I called out how I felt lost in life, then tip number 2, I started to dissect and pull apart what that meant. I feel lost in life for where I live and for the people that I'm connected to. So once I start dissecting that, I really started to look at the town that I lived in, which I just kind of described a little bit earlier, the people that I was talking to, just some of the daily activities that I was doing. And so when I started to pull apart and dissect that, I really kind of came to the conclusion that I wanted to be grounded in 3 words. So for example, my 3 words were growth or evolvement, unapologetic, and contentment. I really wanted wherever I lived and whatever the people that I connected with, I wanted to have some type of growth factor. And so I made a list of that. I put that on my list. I want wherever I'm going in this new space to live and be connected to people. I really want to make sure that I have some type of growth or evolvement. Secondly, I really want to be unapologetic. I felt that at the time, if I said these feelings out loud, I always was kind of shut down with, girl, I mean, you have a house, you have a job, you should be happy. Why are you not happy? As a result, when I wanted to add my second word of what this new space I wanted to be in, I really wanted to make sure I was unapologetic about how I felt. You never have to apologize for how you feel, because guess what? That's how you feel. No one can tell you that you should not be hurting, or that you should not be sad, or that you should not, be whatever. If those are your feelings, then those are your feelings. And if you want to express that, then you just have to make sure that you've created an environment where you feel safe enough to express that. So without, going into making this story long, I really wanted to be unapologetic in this new space. And then also contentment. Once I found this new space, I really wanted to make sure that I had evolved enough so that I could find some contentment where I could have some go-tos in life. I could have a go-to coffee shop, a go-to hairdresser, friend circles for certain reasons. I really wanted to make sure that I had found some type of contentment that would last for a longer period of time than just a couple of months, but really start to establish that contentment that would be a story for me for years to come. And so once I got into what I wanted, growth, being unapologetic, and finding contentment. So that leads us into tip number 3, taking our 3 words and really setting up systems that are going to support you finding whatever those 3 wants for yourself. So the first thing I really thought about were my choices. I had to be very definite in the choices that I made moving forward when I wanted to no longer say I feel lost in life because of X, Y, and Z. So like I shared a little bit earlier, I was a homeowner at that time, and I had looked into selling my home a couple of times, but it just didn't seem, right for me to sell it because the market was just really not a seller's market. It was more or less a buyer's market at the time. So if I sold my home, I basically would have just been giving it away. And so essentially what I did, I made the choice to go ahead and find renters so that it would benefit me in the end to make money off of the house. So I did that for when I left, I did that for about 2 years. And then it turned into a seller's market. So I made the decision to actually sell my home, was able to get a lump sum of money, moved to Atlanta, and my life has really kind of changed or really been on the up and up since making that definite decision. It was a strategic decision. I really thought about it, but I did not straddle the fence, but I also just did not settle just because I wanted to go ahead and get away. So you really have to think about your choices and where it really puts you into making definite and concise decisions. I really had to think about is when I really wanted to be unapologetic about this new space that I wanted to be in. I really thought about, what am I good at doing? What do I enjoy doing? When I moved, I knew I needed a job that was going to support this new space that I really wanted to be in. And so what I essentially did was made sure to sharpen and learn new skills for as far as presenting was concerned, as far as my resume was concerned, as far as going back to school, because I wanted to make sure that I had a greater chance at landing a job that was going to provide the type of salary that I wanted, and the type of salary that would support me living in the city. Because I said when I moved to Atlanta, I did not want to move into a suburb of Atlanta. I really wanted to stay close to the heart of the city. So essentially that's what I did, and I was able to get a job that provided a salary that supported that. So when I got here, it really kind of opened my eyes to see about different hobbies that people had going on. So I'm gonna pop in a picture here. This is actually a new hobby that I just took up, which is road cycling, and it really kind of came out of nowhere. It's something that I just found inspiration while being in this new space, or looking for this new space that I really wanted to be in. It really came about me just sitting on the edge of the bed, being so tuned into all of the different Olympic sports and seeing that the women's team USA road cycling had won the gold medal. It was really an exhilarating thing that I had experienced, and so I thought, hey, I really want to try this out. There is a huge community within Atlanta for road cycling. How about I go explore that? So that kind of leads me into the next thing to look at when I'm talking about, well, what my word was contentment. So once I started this new hobby, it really helped me to see that there were different types of community, how I could make community. So once I bought my bicycle, I took it to the shop, and there were all kind of people in the shop. Hey, you're new. These are my tips. This is how I got started. I started looking at it on Instagram, and you know, if you start looking at something different on Instagram, your whole algorithm changes. So not being afraid to get out there, observe what other people are doing, see how other people are living. It's not that you have to be jealous or envious of what other people are doing, but if you are, that's not a negative thing. If you flip that into a positive, that's basically your body telling yourself, I want something more. I know I can do something like that. Those are my 3 tips when you are feeling lost in life. 1, call it out. 2, really dissect what you call out. Break it apart. Find your 3 wants. What is it that you want? And then 3, create some type of community or learn a new skill, sharpen your skills, learn a new hobby that's going to really promote those 3 wants that you have in your life. I really hope that you found this video valuable. I really enjoyed making it and sharing it. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.